Joining us now is City Police Commissioner Richard Worley. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, if you had to give a state of the force right now to folks, what would you say? How's the force doing right now in the city of Baltimore?
You mean a grade for how we're doing with crime, or just the force overall?
Just in general. I mean, we've come a long way, I think.
We have a long way to go. We hit historical low last year as far as reduction, with over a 20% reduction in homicide, but we still had 263 homicides, which is way too many for our city. One's too many, but I think we can do better this year. I'm really proud of the work that the men and women did last year. I think our morale is on the way up. Things are changing for the better. We just accomplished two things with the first part of the consent decree in compliance, full and effective compliance. So I think we're moving in the right direction. Have a lot of work to do, but I'm confident the men and women can do it.
What did it take to get to that point for the consent decree things to sort of fall? At least two of the measures there. We saw a new van that's come out. We've seen a lot of new things on the street as well, but what did it take in the rank and file to get to where we are?
Unfortunately, about 7 years.
Yeah.
But we were doing some things early, and for the first part of any, I think, consent decree is that you have to get to the point of acceptance within the rank and file. Okay. And we started to do that about 4 or 5 years ago. We started realizing it's not really bad for us. We get body-worn cameras, which cops didn't like, but it's the best thing for us because almost every one of our police-involved shootings now have been caught on body-worn camera, and it proves to help the officers more than it hurts them.
Sure.
And if you do something dumb, you get punished for it, and it's on body-worn camera, but most of the time it actually helps the officers. So it took a lot of policy changes, a lot of training, train. We used to go to 1 week of in-service training, which really meant about 4 hours a day of sitting in a classroom and 3 hours of break and an hour of lunch. It wasn't as robust. Now we have training that comes in 2 or 3 day increments that everyone has to go to, from deputy commissioner all the way down to the rank and file.
Let's talk a little bit of violence reduction, because you're right, the number did come down a bit, but still to have 200 some murders in the city is not a good thing. What kind of work can the community do to help with the police department so that the number doesn't have to be 200 and they can be 100?
The best thing they can do is just cooperate. If they see something, to basically say something. I know that's an easy thing to say, and it's not easy to do because it can be dangerous being a witness. Sure. But we have witness protection programs. We have a lot of different things that we've changed. So when people do give us information, we can protect you and we can keep it confidential. We've come a long way with victim services. We have Chardell Rose has taken over our victim services unit. So we not only just go in and investigate the crime, we help the families who have to deal with the aftermath of losing a loved one or having someone injured. And we do that with professional members, civilians who aren't police, because we aren't always the best at being, we have a job that we're focused on trying to solve the crime. Sure. So we're not always the best at the empathy. Sure. And we have the victim services who does a fantastic job partnering with our detectives. So I think the more we start to win back the community events where we're out amongst the community, and we've got to do a better job. That is the only part of the consent decree that we haven't done well or done well enough over the last several years, and that's where we're going to put a lot of focus coming forward, is making every single officer a neighborhood coordination officer out there walking foot and getting to know the community.
Because that visibility makes a difference. If you're able to call the officer by their first name, or whatever you call it, and not just a person in a car, I think that changes the attitude for people a lot.
It does. And then it was a tough thing in the Northeast when I first started to do this several years ago, when the mayor and I first worked together in 2012. I came up, I told my officers I wanted them to walk foot. Well, they immediately thought I wanted crime stats. I wanted car stops and field interviews. It's like, no, I just want you to walk in the community and talk to people.
Sure.
Just get to know people. And it wasn't the easiest for me to do.
Sure.
So I know exactly how they feel, because I'm naturally a shy person. So for me to walk up and just start talking to somebody, it took a lot. So, and I got to that point. But I know how the young men and women feel when they're so a lot of them come from different cities, so they have to get used to Baltimore. Baltimore is pretty unique.
Yeah, it is.
So you have to get used to Baltimore. But once they get out of the car, the fear of the unknown is the main thing. They get out of the car and they start talking, it becomes a lot easier.
Tell me about young people. We had something down the street not that long ago. Kids went into that 7-Eleven that kind of looted that. I think a lot of people are worried that young people are getting lost in the cracks here. What can the force do so we don't see stats of 13 and 14 in some of these police reports.
Yeah, we can continue to do. I think our men and women do a really good job with dealing with the young people. Part of the consent decree is we're supposed to have the least amount of negative contact with a young person as we can, and we've done a lot of good things with that. The mayor's office did a really good job with the Squeegee initiative, and that involved us very little.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was the mayor's office of neighborhood safety and engagement. We would get the calls. We would go and offer them, tell them there are services, and then Dr. Bunley's crew would come out,
okay.
and he would deal with them, trying to get them to do other things. So that was something, because if we get involved, it's usually enforcement. We don't have the services to give to the young people that the city has now under Mayor Scott, and I think that helped. That's not completely gone, and we still have to deal with them here and there, but I think that's working, and that's just one thing that we're doing with the young people. And I just want our officers to get out and know them, because we can't have 11 and 12-year-olds out at 11, 12 o'clock at night breaking into cars. There's got to be some kind of punishment.
There's something in the community you guys are working with. Is the Autism Society of Baltimore. I want to make sure we talk about that a bit. Tell me about that partnership and why it's big for you.
Well, it's big because it's a part of the community that we really have never partnered with before. We've done it a little bit, but now it's a full-scale partnership, because sometimes the young people with those special needs are forgotten.
Sure.
They're not part, because we're dealing with everything else, that those are parts of the community that are forgotten, and we want to make sure we don't forget any part of the community.
One last thing, you mentioned something about putting young folks on the street as far as young officers go, and you are trying to make this job enticing. I think I read about a $10,000 incentive.
Yes.
You have to sort of do whatever you can, almost reinvent yourself to get some folks to come and protect and serve in Baltimore.
Yeah, we have a $10,000 sign-on bonus for you to come. We have tuition reimbursement. The mayor has given a tax reduction for your property taxes. There's a $12,000 a year incentive to live in the city. It's $1,000 a month that we're trying to do everything we can. The biggest advertisement for us is to continue to lead the country and lead the world in the reform process. Our victim services, which is one of the areas that we came in compliance with the consent decree, is a worldwide program, and that's not just bragging about it, which I guess it is, but people come from all over the country and all over the world to see how we have turned to treat our officers better. And then you can't get the experience anywhere else that you can get in Baltimore in a couple years. And it's a great job. It's one of the best.
It's a hard job.
It's a tough job, but it's a rewarding job, because you can make a difference every single day you go out there. And the biggest part of it is you can move up the ranks relatively quickly, because we have over 2,000 police still, even though we're over 500 short. You can still move up and be a sergeant in 3 years, and I proof that I sat in the academy seats, and now I'm the police commissioner.
How about that?
And it's only 26 years. I say 26 years, but I spent 2 or 3 or 4 years at almost every rank, because I wanted to get to know that rank before I moved on to the next rank. And sometimes it was just because I was at a log jam for promotion. But I think the Baltimore Police Department offers things that you can't get in a lot of cities, and because of the uniqueness of the job in the city.
Sir, I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
Yep.